leg one of the final, 24 miles. We're down 2 competitors already. Nearly almost all of them pass out. We have a needle phobia and a tribunal on the way. We're gonna get it going in just a second. Stay with us.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
On MTV, War of the Worlds, episode 15, Death Race, and we kicked off the final tonight. Heat 1, 24 miles. It was insane. It was very dangerous. We're going to get into everything. We got a full panel tonight. My name is Jenna Bussiere. I'm joined by Dan Lindgren to my left.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Dan. We got Pamela Gross-Jill on the panel, as well as David Christopher. So
I am
gang
here.
is all
Yes.
here.
Hey. All right.
Woo! We're ready to dive into this. We got a lot to unpack. This final was absolutely insane. Probably the craziest we've seen in a very long time. We had at least 4 competitors pass out. 2 of them left the game because of it. Well, we'll get more into it. But yeah, we're gonna get into, you know, the logistics of everything, exactly the obstacles they had to do, the endurance, the tribunal predictions we'll get into a little bit later. We're gonna get into Cara Maria's needle phobia. We got a lot to unpack and break down. So that's what's on the agenda tonight. We have some news and gossip, hopefully, if we get to it. But kicking it off, so we just watched this episode. How are you guys feeling?
Brutal. That was brutal. Seriously. You know, to see that many people literally just collapsing, especially like, you know, Turbo, who was literally training for this. Some of the girls literally just out of nowhere faint. Like, that's intense. I mean, you're battling the heat. You're battling, how many miles is that? Was just ridiculous. 24. Plus, you have the obstacles that you have to finish. Plus, keep up with the other competitors. I mean, that's like all around draining. It's crazy. It was intense.
Yeah, I mean, that was so brutal that watching it was exhausting.
Yeah, MTV was like, Challenge 33 was way too easy, and everyone complained about it, so now you guys can suck on this. And we're like, what the hell just happened?
Seriously.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I loved this final so much. It looked so hard, and this is, again, exactly what we wanted the competitors to go through. But I have to pose a question. Do you guys think it was too hard? Because it's at this point that now some of their bodies are literally shutting down, and even if you have the mental strength, you see that some of them still want to go. They still have the fight in their hearts and in their mind, but they're passing out. They're shutting down. Georgia thinks Bear is there.
Right.
Like, Ninja's eyes roll in the back of her head. Do you think that production was ever worried while watching this in the truck or on standby? Like, crap, we might have something on our hands here. Like, people are going in the ambulance, the medics are on site. Do you think it was too hard at all?
I think production knew damn well what could happen, and they're like, this makes great TV. Let's see what happens. But I mean, honestly, sorry, Dan, but I mean, honestly, it's just, you're in that situation. They're in the desert. They know what they're doing. Of course, there's going to be a high possibility that someone gets injured. They know that's why the medic's on site. That's what they're there for, you know? You know, me being a guy that likes to see these people being pushed to their limits, even I felt a little bad, I got to be honest. Like, that was intense.
Yeah.
So.
And when people are literally collapsing and spasming out, I don't think it's too hard because clearly there will be some winners, so it's doable, obviously,
Right.
and I guess it really is pushing it to the max. But again, when you talk about this versus last season's challenge, it's like, oh my God, what is going on here?
Do you remember 2 seasons ago when their hardest thing was them having to put on night costumes? It was Vendettas, right? Like,
yes.
Kayla and Leroy and Kyle and Cara, they're all like having to just
Right,
put night
sword
costumes
fight.
on and sword fight and do like janky carnival games. And sure, there were some carnival type of games in this final, but the level of intensity, the way that is increased in this final is absolutely insane.
I mean, how about this? How about 3 laps instead of 4 laps? Because how much extra footage do we need to watch of them running and biking? Like, they didn't need it. They would have got the same result as far as people being tired and people passing out. I mean, hell, Georgia passed out on the first lap, so they got that footage.
Right.
Why do you need 4 laps? That's my
12
point.
miles, not 24, right?
Or even
I'm not
18
mad
or
at
something.
that. I mean, I think the editing was really well done, that it was entertaining enough the entire time, and this is a final. This is like an Amazing Race Survivor type of final. It doesn't need to be that sort of sensationalized, quick, fast entertainment like we want to see in maybe the challenges or the eliminations. To me, for this being a final, I was okay with it being several laps and miles, because that's what we're here for. We want to see their endurance.
Yeah.
And I thought the editing was fast-paced.
My whole point is if you want to keep them safe, if you are worried about them passing out, and we saw like almost all of them pass out.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, Ninja's eyes rolled back in her head and she fell off a bike.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I don't understand how Georgia did so well with the tire rolling thing and couldn't even complete one lap, if it was the heat or what, or if
Here's
she
the
just
thing: we don't know what
mentally-
are they drinking enough water? Like, what are they doing to pre-game this big
Right.
marathon race? I don't know if like producers coming up to them saying you have to eat this amount of food or you have to drink this much water. Like, I don't know how what they're doing beforehand.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say beforehand with we not knowing something like that. You think at least you would hope that they would have some kind of, hey, maybe I should eat this or lay off the drinking today or something. From what it looked like, all of them are literally just being dehydrated and then
Right.
muscle exhaustion.
They
you know what I
gotta
mean?
be cut off from alcohol, right? There's
I
no
would
way
hope.
that they should be allowed to drink with at least like 4 days in advance of this, because alcohol stays in your system for a minute, and running something like this for 5 hours in dry desert heat,
Yeah.
you can't have that in your system. They have to kind of stop that.
Yeah, but I just don't understand how Georgia, again, I'm stuck on Georgia because she's been the sort of endurance queen.
Yeah.
So for her to tap out, I think she literally, and we saw is Bear here, she must have had, I think they were
Dehydrated for sure,
delirious,
yes.
dehydrated, delirious, so the combination of the heat and the
Yeah.
exertion. But the reason why it was a good challenge, why I'm going back and disagreeing with myself and going to what Jenna said, is that because of the way it was structured, there was a little bit of strategy in the way that you could do your laps or
Yeah, I
pace
like
yourself,
this.
or
Yeah.
because Wes, I think, who completed maybe one of the puzzly
That's
games,
it. Yeah.
was pacing himself and taking breaks and getting it done, and I think that was a good strategy. He
finished second.
He finished second.
So it's kind of like fielder's choice of when you get
Right.
over to the obstacles, like how many do I want to complete? I'm already here. I knocked one out. Do I stay and try and complete all of them? Do I complete 2 or 3 and then keep running? It's kind of like, do I want to do all the cardio at once? You do have that option where you could do
Right.
all 4 laps, biking and running all at once, and then get to the games and knock out every single game, or you could do intervals and space yourselves out.
Right.
What strategy would you guys take?
I'd finish as many of those games as I could just because I don't want to get stuck behind someone like Hunter did at the end there.
But I know, I was thinking the same thing. This is why I asked this question, because I was going back and forth the entire time. It's like, ooh, do you want to just knock out all the games right away and then just depend on your cardio and your endurance? But that's a lot to run at once, and it might be really nice to have a break.
Yeah.
And
It
even
is,
if you
for
don't
sure.
complete the
Right.
puzzle, you could just chill for 25 minutes.
Yeah, and that is the other thing where I can go against my own theory is a lot of these people just timed out on their puzzles.
Right.
Anyways, they were just using that as rest time.
Which is great,
So,
which
yeah.
is not a bad strategy,
Right.
Which,
you know?
which also ties into Wes's strategy, where he was, I think, which was good, but at the same time, he's playing. You know, it's a big gamble because he's essentially hoping that everybody else times out and he can finish ahead of them. Because if they don't,
Right.
as we saw, if Hunter wouldn't have got stuck behind and he wouldn't have timed out, he essentially could have beat Wes.
Yeah.
In the standings. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's taking a gamble. I think you're going to determine that by your body, how it's feeling, because you do need a break. I think to try and knock it all out is probably not, in my
Not
opinion, the
realistic?
best route. Yeah, it's probably
Okay.
not realistic. I'd say maybe if you can, try and do 2.
That's what I'm
and
thinking.
then hit a couple of those puzzles in between, slow it down.
Right.
and then
If you
try
do
and hit the
2
last
each
2.
time, that gets you through 3 laps. You do 2, and then 1. Say you do
Right.
2, 2, 1. That gets you 3 laps. Then you just have to just huff the last one
Right.
and
Yeah,
just deal with
exactly.
it. So that's why
Yeah.
I would
It's like
think
get
that.
the hardest thing out of the way first, like doing hill sprints first and then walking
Right.
on the treadmill or something if you're at the gym doing some
yeah.
sort of workout.
And if you're fast, if you know, back to Is It Too Hard, Wes and Theo were seemingly fine. They didn't seem to really be
Well,
struggling.
I wouldn't say fine.
Well,
I
Wes
mean,
pretty
they
much
were
passed
hurting
out
at the end.
Yeah.
They were certainly exhausted,
Yeah.
but they were not like, I'm shutting down, I'm in pain. I mean, Wes said, like, my back spasming when he was rolling the tire, but in terms of the endurance and the actual running, they were like, yeah, I'm just going to keep going.
Well, I mean, Wes said he's in the best shape of his life, and we all know about Theo being
Theo.
like apparently
An athlete.
good at everything, right? So it's no surprise to me that those two now. I mean, considering we know what the final is, which was just
Yeah.
run 24 miles, and they did great.
Theo really is like the sleeper of this whole season. Because
Yeah.
again, we didn't see as much of him. We knew he was a great competitor, an Olympic athlete, and we all were kind of like, don't sleep on Theo. But he didn't get a lot of camera time. So because of that, it's like I'm thinking Turbo this entire time is going to kill it, which of course he does. He apologizes, sorry my body, I'm going to keep going.
Yeah.
Like he's just giving us everything we want from Turbo again. But yeah, we didn't realize how good Theo was.
Well, this was literally his challenge to lose. He is a marathon runner, and this was a marathon. So, I mean, it's amazing that he did well, but I'm not super surprised. He's like built for this.
Well,
He's an incredible athlete.
Yeah.
But then he mentions he used to do spins, so it's like right.
Right.
Okay.
Like he plays chess. Like Theo does pull out the.
It's like, on the weekends I actually throw tires through holes.
Right.
So
But it's almost like, what does Theo not do?
Right.
Then? How do you
Right.
make a final for somebody who can do everything?
Right. Like when I was a race car driver, I did. It's like Theo, what?
Yeah, and I guess like in 5th grade, he like won this puzzle contest of like to build like 100 like puzzles as fast as you can at like 100 pieces.
Is
and
that really
he did it
true?
the fastest. Just made that up, but I was going with it.
But it makes it tracks.
It was like 100 pieces,
Like a
and he
jigsaw.
put them together in 2 minutes. Yes, it was
Right.
crazy.
He even was able to do the rampage one, where it's the pole and he knocked that one out smoother
ring
than anybody
toss.
else could.
The
The ring
ring
toss.
toss seems
Okay, we're
hard.
gonna get into everything. So
Okay.
now that we've kind of done a little bit more than our overall thoughts, let's break down this episode kind of chronologically as the best of our ability. We'll get down to the nitty gritty here.
Okay.
So we open up at the house. We have to talk about Turbo
Oh my gosh.
preparing for the final. No one takes the challenge more seriously than Turbo. This is absolutely hysterical. At first, I was like, okay, is he just training like Rocky? Like, he's doing the whole egg thing. He's got to eat an entire plate of 12 eggs, and he's going to run on the treadmill. Like, this is just for training. Turns out he's doing it so that way he can be prepared for eating an entire heaping portion of food and then having to run after it.
Right.
He's like 10 steps ahead of anybody who's ever competed on this challenge. No one's ever practiced like that.
Right.
Jokes on Turbo if there's no
Yeah.
eating one in the second round, by the way. Which, I mean, they didn't show us much in the preview, but there didn't look to be any food around, so I don't know. That sucks, but
Yeah,
great preparation.
That's intense, man. That is crazy. Like, dude, I've already said it, but Turbo's my fave. His just intensity, his mind is just, it's on point.
He
and
would
that's-
die for this.
Yeah,
he would
well, he
die.
said that.
Literally, he's like,
Literally
no one
die.
else
Well,
would
that's-
die to win.
The
Like,
things that he
you're
says
right.
are just so great.
Yeah.
yes.
He's talking about, he's at the end about the IV and car didn't want the IV. He's like, you need gasoline in the engine. I'm
This
like,
car
oh,
need gasoline
gas
to
tank.
go.
It's so true, though. It's very true.
It
It's
is
great.
true.
I love that he says everything that's like slightly morbid with a smirk too. He's like, no one else would die for this.
Yeah.
I would die for this.
Yeah, but poor Turbo in this challenge did start to look like weathered. I was like, he aged in this show. He was sunburnt and sort of drained. I was like, someone.
I mean, he
get
was like
Turbo
crying.
out.
He was, like,
Yeah.
crying.
Like
It
when the
was-
president gets
Yeah,
elected to the office
exactly.
and all of a sudden their hair goes from like pristine jet black to like completely
Right.
white in
Exactly.
like 3 weeks.
Poor Turbo. This challenge, like this one, he was like, all right, must do body, but his body was like, must age.
do body. God, I love
Poor-
Turbo.
poor
All right,
guy.
so we see this helicopter, which is a complete cop out. It's a
Okay.
complete red herring. Everyone's like, "Ooh, yeah, sick!" And Ninja's like jumping on tables, like harnessing her inner stripper, like loving this helicopter. And then we see this janky ass truck pull up that does look like it's full of rust and tetanus.
Yeah.
And this is gonna be called
Pain
who
locker.
remembers the
Pain
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 locker.
locker.
Pain locker.
The pain locker, and it's like, ooh, this is gonna be their treacherous ride to the final.
Yeah.
That just
So-
sounds so horrifying right off the bat. Like, it reminds me of like Saw or something. Like,
Exactly.
I do not want to go in the pain locker.
Nobody
Yeah.
wants that.
Yeah, no.
And so wait, the helicopter was just TJ's
there.
travel mode? Like literally, that was it? There was nothing. It's like TJ couldn't get a lift any other
It
way.
was
He had
TJ's
to be-
PJ, his private
I
jet.
know,
Yeah.
seriously.
I'm thinking they just spray paint those seats to make them look rusty. By the way, I don't really, I
I
don't
hope
really
so.
think they're rusty.
Damn, God, you have
Yeah.
no imagination.
Oh,
You
come on.
always have to come in with like the rational guys. Remember, this is a reality TV show, and I'm like, oh my God.
And
this
yet
truck
I
is
escape to
tetanus
Disneyland
filled.
every weekend on Disney Dance. So I'm all over the place. Clearly.
Disney's Daddy Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
Okay, so then we get to the final, and this is where we figure out what the format of the final is going to be. What are the logistics? So they're going to be running on what we call the death path, and it sure as hell looks like a death path. I mean, 2 people nearly died first day. It's going to be 50 miles long. We got 24 miles tonight with several kill zones scattered throughout. Kill zone 1 is 6 miles times 4. So this is a figure 8, half of the course being biking, half being marathon running, with 5 games, 5 obstacles. You have to complete all of them. The whole point of completing the obstacles is just to quicken your time, so that you get the quickest time, but if you don't finish them, you just time out, and there's no like deficit or grenade or anything thrown your way. Before we move on exactly, the obstacles, the endurance, how everybody's performing, Georgia and Maddie kind of tapping out. Dan, do you have something you would like to tell the viewers?
Guys, we want to thank you for making us the ESPN of TV Talk. Obviously, we want you to leave a 5-star rating on that iTunes over there, and leave us a comment over here and subscribe. Give us some subscriptions. I'm going to stare at Jenna as I say my spiel. This is great. No, guys, thank you so much for being with us. We really appreciate it. We love being here at AfterBuzz TV. So please leave us a comment. Tell us how much you love AfterBuzz TV, so we can stay on the air and do our thing.
We love our loyal live chatters. Bria
Yes.
Carta's always in there.
Shout out to the live.
Joey
Shout out to the
Bosa's
live.
always in there. Appreciate you
Yeah.
guys. Thank you
Sky
very much.
Patterson's always in
Sky
there.
Patterson.
Love to love you.
Loved by
Loved
you.
by you.
Loves to hate me.
Oh,
BTW. I see you, girl. Anyway,
Keep throwing that shade at
We
Jan's
love
way.
your
Keep throwing that
positive
shade.
comments, and we love your negative comments. We do appreciate
I love
the
it.
listening.
Either
yeah.
way,
Bring
exactly.
it.
Appreciate the listen. Thank you guys.
Yes.
So let's get into this. And the arrow horn is blown. I don't know if that really happened, but anyway, the final starts. Bam.
Bam.
And we see them start trudging through this sand, and immediately I'm thinking, I always think how hard it must be for them to do endurance challenge without any music, because I can't work out without music.
That's
Right.
fun.
Sucks.
And that
Yes.
Seriously.
sucks.
Yes.
Doesn't that completely enhance your workout? And I always think that whenever I watch a challenge, I'm like, damn, they're doing this in the sun, in the sand, in the heat, no music, no motivation,
Also-
just nothing but 24 miles ahead of them.
Well, you're not doing it for $1 million that when
Yes.
you are working out. So there's
Right,
a little more
right.
motivation, but I feel you. If the headphones dip out or something, it's like, no, it's the worst
horrible
thing
They have
ever.
like no
Yeah.
entertaining.
Yeah.
They're just sitting there thinking with every step that goes by how awful this is. So we take off. Theo's killing it, Wes is killing it, and then George is killing it right behind them in third place. We see her, the first girl, third place. She hops on this bike, she gets going. Then we see a lot of the people are using the strategy of walking the bike instead of riding it. I guess maybe it's tough terrain, it's hard to ride in the sand. Hunter is walking it, Turbo's even walking it. We see Georgia, she's riding it, but then starts to kind of lose her mind, her eyes, her sight, everything, her health. She hops off the bike, then she tries to like drag the bike with her.
As if that's the best way to do it.
Right. Try and like throw it in front of her, use all of her body weight, and then all of a sudden, like, she's trying so hard, and my heart goes out to her. I feel so bad. Because
Yes.
this is what I was saying before. Like, all of their minds and their hearts are in this, but she just can't do anything. Like, she completely blacks out.
Yes.
And the poor thing, she's like, I'm so embarrassed. She's saying she's so embarrassed, and I felt
Yeah.
so bad for her.
Right, but I mean, you can't knock her on that. Like, she literally passed out. Like, she was just out. Like, you
Yeah.
can do at that point. You know what I mean?
Like, I
It's-
wonder how long the producers left her in the sand like that just to see if she'd get back up before they actually
right.
came and helped her. But she was out.
Because
Poor
someone like
Georgia.
that is so kick-ass and she has such great endurance, like, you think that she's going to get up. You think that this is just like, okay, she needs a few minutes. But
Yeah.
at what point do they say, all right?
And then for all the haters out there who are like, oh, Georgia should have kept going, she's asking if Bear is
No, it
there.
was like-
She was gone with the wind. This girl cannot compete anymore.
It reminded me of when Leroy was telling us about how after he fell off the thing and he thought his
concussion or whatever, yeah.
ex-girlfriend was with, he was asking for his ex or something. Like,
Awful.
no longer
Yeah.
there, I guess. And I guess she just maxed all her energy out too hard in that heat too fast.
Yeah.
Well, I was even telling like you, Jen. Remember, I was like, "Whoa, I'm like impressed that Georgia's in third place right now." Like,
Right.
she was kicking butt. I was super like stoked. I was like, "Wow." I mean, I think like literally as she was getting to that place where she was gassing out, she should have kind of took a step back, started drinking water. She was clearly dehydrated. Slowed her heart rate, get back to a normal state, catch your breath. You know, but she was trying to force it and just literally.
And we saw
started hot and ended hot.
Yeah,
we saw with Ninja that she sort of passed out. They monitored her and said your body is checking out. Georgia, I'm assuming the medic said you are not like fit
Yeah,
to.
she's- Right.
Yeah, like there's no, is Bear here?
Oh
you
my
know,
God,
there's no,
that's crazy.
which also broke my heart.
Yeah,
'Cause
just
that's
because,
her-
well, then now, because we know the future of that whole situation,
Yeah.
I
too. So
feel like
it's,
you're on your deathbed at that point. So you
Yeah.
just want that one person, I guess, you care about the most. Or you
Right.
Think, here's, I don't know why. Maybe she thought he was still in Africa or still somewhere around that. Maybe.
Well,
he
I don't think
rushed
they-
to her
Well, it's like-
bedside.
I mean, we saw that Morgan and Bananas like hung out for a while before
Yeah.
they left. They were
True, yeah.
posting stuff all over the
She might
gram.
have just been hoping that he was at least like a few
I just
hours
think
drive away.
It's when you're delirious and you're like, I want my Bear. Like it's
Yeah.
my you want a comfort zone. And
Ninja though, I was surprised. I thought the same thing would have counted for her. Like once you're out, you're out. I was surprised they let her go back in.
Well, they
I was-
checked. I
Well,
think
they
they just
check-
checked her
yeah.
vital signs, and they were like, "Well, you're good to keep going." I mean, they just
Right.
obviously just deducted the time of her
Yeah.
sitting in a car.
Ninja goes from eyes rolling in the back of her head, looking like she's going, needing to be helicoptered out of there there on a gurney on her deathbed to having the most energy out of anybody in this entire challenge.
And
like,
for them to
jumping around, being so energetic, like, woo, I love this game. It's like, weren't you just dead 5 seconds ago?
And for the producers to disqualify her for having no control of her body and just passing out, that would have been BS to me. Let her back in. You guys put her in this situation.
Right.
It's not like she asked to pass out, you know. So it's
Right.
So then, how do you guys feel about Maddie? Because we see Georgia. I think Georgia was more of a victim of her body shutting down.
Yes.
Right.
Maddie kind of, she's walking along, she's jogging a little bit here and there, and then she comes to the conclusion to herself, like, I'm not gonna make this, I'm gonna sit down. Do you think it's different?
I mean, I thought David was on point, but I was with David on it.
I don't agree with Maddie because I feel like the fact that when she was able to walk back, she was still coherent, she was still able to function. Like, you made it that far, you've gone through all that. I mean, like you said, Ninja literally passed out. Georgia was just done, but Ninja came back and so competed. Like, she was just checked out mentally. She just gave up.
And to me, it's the experience of a lifetime. You might never ever get to not do this again. You might not get to do it, and you could just walk the rest of it.
Absolutely.
You're walking right now. Just keep walking and
Absolutely.
finish your time and see what the next. You were gonna get IV that night. Like, come on.
Very true.
How about you, Pam?
I don't know what to make of that.
That's how I kind of am.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time with it because we know TJ, from what we saw, it looked like she just sort of was like, I can't, and gave up and quit. We know TJ hates nothing more than a quitter. He didn't really shame her, so it leads me to believe she really was more shut down than what we possibly saw.
He did shame her a little bit.
He shamed her a little with the
He
smoking.
did, but
But then also you got to look at Turbo. Turbo looked to be in worse shape than even if you go to Hunter. He looked to be in pretty bad shape too.
Yeah.
And they both said, "Screw it, I'm just gonna keep going."
You know, this challenge pushes you to your absolute limit when Turbo falls down. And we saw him massaging, rubbing out some sort of cramp, something he had.
punching,
and that was sad to see. But we see him get back up and finish. But it's almost at the point where I want to say that there's something to Maddie quitting, but I almost don't consider it quitting. I don't want to go easy on anybody, quote unquote, but I don't know if I'm disappointed in her or Georgia.
I'm disappointed.
I don't think I can be because I cannot imagine what it's like to do what they did tonight. And if you're at the point, again, with Pam, I think that her body was shut down to the same point as the other two. I mean, sure, she didn't fall over and maybe didn't pass out, but I think she was still kind of on that level. Just her face and her mind was fake, was a better poker face, but I think she was still
and she was
shutting
heading
down.
there. She didn't actually collapse. I think she still was headed
I
there.
can't imagine to put my body through that. So I'm
I know,
just
but
I don't know. If you guys quit, you must have been at your limit.
Turbo saying he will literally dive to win. If you're Maddie and you're not, this is a situation where being big and strong, like Turbo and Maddie, isn't as beneficial as being lithe, like Theo. And if Turbo was that hurting and you're Maddie and you imagine feeling the same and going through that sort of not that she should quit, but I do think if you're shutting down to that level.
I'm definitely more forgiving for this.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, this
final.
was so brutal. It wasn't like we saw Georgia actually collapse after one lap. Maddie at least did a few and did some things. I mean, the fact that she stopped before she actually fell down dead, I don't really.
Here's the thing, though. I don't think we're seeing that. We wouldn't have the opportunity to win $750,000. We're thinking of doing this for as a freebie. Like we're just gonna go out tonight and run the streets of LA for free. No, they get money if they win this thing.
Money.
So unless I'm in Georgia's position and I'm thinking Bear's coming to be my hero and save me,
you're not.
I'm just gonna keep going.
Like Hunter said, your butt is crawling, dude. Like,
Right.
I don't care.
I know,
like,
but I know
literally,
Maddie's had just as much heart as all of them.
Yeah.
She had a great season, yes, but this is where it counts. Just like they say at any sports, right? We watch it. Everything counts in the finals. Like your whole season goes wiped away once you're in the playoffs. Like none of that
But
matters.
it's like I was saying before. So there's a difference between being sore and being injured.
Right.
You can play through soreness. So you can run through a final if it's maybe 8 miles in the heat. If it's 24 miles, there's a difference between being hurting and nearly dying.
Right.
And if they feel like they're literally going to die, I'm more forgiving.
What was Maddie's injury though?
She wasn't injured.
No, I'm saying that's just the analogy of it. So you can play through soreness if you're an athlete, but you can't necessarily play through a torn a torn ACL or a broken leg. Like there's hurt and sore.
So you think Maddie should have continued?
No, I think that Maddie, Georgia, and all these people that are nearly dying are basically injured rather than sore.
Jenna's saying, I think, if I can surmise, are we calling this a quit or a body failed her?
It's
It
a
was
quit.
all over.
All right, let's go around the room real quick.
It's a quit. Absolutely.
I'll say quit as well.
I'm saying somewhere in between.
On the fence.
choose. You have to choose.
Yeah,
I
think it's
guess if I have to choose, it tips towards a quit. Because if you can literally keep going and you
keep
stop,
going.
then it's a quit. But I this was so hard that, again, of all, and props to this season, because these people are not Kayla and, Jemmy. These are Turbo and Theo. These are athletes. Like, this is a different level of competition. And also props to Wes and Hunter for doing as well as they're doing right now, because I don't think Ashley would have won if this was the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a different level of athleticism.
Interesting thought there.
Yeah,
for
we
sure.
haven't really talked about Wes a lot, so let's definitely take a moment.
Yes.
And he's
Good
doing
game
great
all around,
this entire final, and he's just kind of. Do you think it's experience?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, he's playing a good
him and
mental
Theo,
and physical
It's
game.
prepping too. It's everything he did before we saw him on TV this time. He said he was in the best shape of his life. So.
Setting up his little rookies in advance was smart. He does play it smart for himself. He paces himself. Yeah, Wes is great.
He was eating burgers.
Playing
He's
a
getting
good-
protein. He knew. He was
Yeah,
serious. He
his
was
endurance.
ready.
Yeah.
He's throwing out quotes like, "If you're not a little scared, you're not prepared."
There you go.
Oh, stirring the pot,
yeah.
psyching
Some
people
deep
out.
ish right there.
Can we?
Let's keep it moving because we are running out of time. We got to get this episode. What did you guys think about the obstacles when they finally got to the checkpoint?
The mini games?
The games. So some of them are kind of janky. Some of them are kind of carnival games. The ring toss. How are people so good at this?
Right, I was
the
saying the
ring
same thing.
toss
Ken.
looks so
That's not
effing
good.
hard. Finally, when Cara walked up, I was like, finally, somebody
Someone's
is
not
normal.
good.
Right.
Like, finally, someone sucks at this. Everybody's like beelining it.
She
making
threw
the
it
first
this.
try.
She threw it this way. Come on.
My favorite was Hunter's just
Hunter.
Like, Hunter could not give a shit about doing this ring toss.
That wasn't the hardest game though. The hardest
the
game
Rampage.
was
See, I think
Pyramid
I could've
Scheme.
given Rampage. That, yeah.
What is it? No, I don't even know what it is.
I would have timed out. I wouldn't
with
even try. I would just been
colors.
like, I quit.
So
Nobody knew what to do. I saw them try to win.
Wes
I'm like,
knew.
what?
I think that's the only one Wes did.
He got that one. No,
I think
he
so.
timed out. He
Okay.
timed out. He timed out.
Okay.
no
Did
idea what
anyone
Pyramid Scheme
do
was.
it?
No idea.
I don't think we
don't
were
think-
supposed to know as viewers. I think it's
No one did.
What
that.
a
Yeah,
BS game that was.
Yeah, I don't think they were allowed to say it by name, but Wes described it as a popular mathematics game, but with color. So it seemed
Are
like.
they? Do you think they legally can't say? Stuff?
Oh, actually,
no,
Hunter said.
so don't.
Yeah, Hunter.
Hunter don't give a
said-
shit. He's like,
yeah,
whatever.
I want to give an
F you,
appreciation,
Sudoku.
an appreciation moment for Hunter because he is me doing a puzzle. And like he's like, it doesn't matter if I'm fresh or if I'm tired or if I'm fatigued. Like
That's
this is what's gonna happen
Right.
regardless.
Like,
I was hysterically laughing. Like
He got
shut
the
out loud.
he got the ball stick pushing the ball game Rampage. He got
Oh,
that
good,
one.
Hunter.
Hunter did that one. I
job.
think.
That
Yeah.
to me personally seemed like the easiest one. Realistically, I think I did okay on that one.
I think the tire through the hole. No.
That's pretty challenging.
That
think
was
so?
pretty
that
challenging,
was
yeah.
hard. Turbo again, superhero Turbo
Chucked it
made
over
it
his head.
harder for himself. He didn't know his own strength. He rolled it and he rolled it like 5
straight
miles.
chucked it, yeah.
He had to go run and chase it. The 20 miles, his super strength rolled it.
Do you guys think these games could have been harder? Or are you happy with how they
I was
were?
happy. I think they really were almost a resting point.
They're justified by
That if
the
you did it
track they have to
great.
go through. You know. what
I
mean?
like it too because it provided a lot of
Comedy
fun
too, and
moments.
just
Yeah.
And Cara's comment game was on point tonight, more than usual. With like,
Cara, I loved her this
Cara, I loved her
episode.
too.
Let me say, I thought Cara was so cute when she said, "Come on, little ball," when she's trying to push it up. Come on, little. I was like, man, why am I thinking Cara's cute right now? What's
she
happening
was
to me?
adorable.
She
Cara
was
is-
this episode.
She's a cutie.
We just needed her without male distraction.
Yeah.
This
Maybe
whole season.
is that what it is?
Yes,
Maybe.
she's
Because
only
I thought
in
she
one
was
when
so
has a
cute.
boyfriend.
She had her hair tied back all cute. I was like, why do
She
I
was
like this girl?
adorable, and
And
she was so sorry. Also, she was saying like, and I think this was great because we're seeing how brutal this is. And someone like Smashley wins. You can say it's a fluke. Car won. Not that people are saying it's a fluke. We know she's a good competitor, but it's like to win again. Yeah. No one can take that away from you. You're proving you deserve to be winning these things, and I want that for her.
Cara was hysterical this episode.
She was great.
And I love that she kept chugging along because she kind of got off to a rough start. Her and Hunter I'm really proud of because it looked like those are the ones that might also quit. Like, Cara was like, oh, I can't walk, I can't run, but she finished it completely, and that speaks to her experience, her endurance, and her mentality until we get into the part. Until later,
Yes.
but we're going to get into that in a
Oh
second.
God.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think everybody who stayed, it competed really well. Like,
Anyone who-
obviously Theo knocked it out of the park with Wes right behind him and Turbo, but I think Hunter, sure, he finished last, but I still think I'm proud of him for even finishing.
Yeah.
He finished.
Because
That's
he's
awesome.
the worst at endurance. I think Cara, she chugged along, she stayed with it, she did really good, and she was hysterical. And
Yeah.
Yeah, and Ninja went from zero, like literally flatlining to being awesome. So everybody who stuck with it ended up finishing great, even though they were groveling and crawling by the time this was done.
I think they timed out at 20 minutes because Cara finished at 6:43 and Hunter didn't get to finish till 7:03, and he timed out on that final puzzle. He had to wait for her, so I think they got 20 minutes to complete each one. If I'm doing my math right.
I think it was 25.
Okay. They actually said 25.
Yeah, I think they told us.
Well, never mind then. That was a waste of 10 seconds. Sorry, guys.
So let's jump to the final results.
Okay.
So we see Theo finishes in first place. He's at 5 hours 34 minutes. Wes is in second place at 5 hours 44 minutes.
Okay.
Only 10 minutes behind.
Wow.
Turbo's in third at 5 hours 58 minutes, nearly 6 hours. Ninja finishes with 6 hours 35 minutes. Cara's behind her 10 minutes, 6 hours 43. Hunter is the only one that finishes in the 7-hour time slot with 7 hours 3 minutes. So he's kind of behind the pack, but that could also be due to Cara's pyramid scheme.
Right.
And then let's get into this surprise twist. We get a tribunal, and this is sick. All of our jaws drop. We love this because now someone, after they can't even walk, you see how much pain they're in, and then they're going to have to probably go into a head-to-head elimination. And it's just like, this is the best final ever.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was like the greatest scene when you see all of them just so broken and beaten up. Like, you're just like, you feel bad for them, and it's like, here we go with the tribunal.
Oh my God.
Dude.
Yeah.
So should we then hop back into the pain locker? So, anybody have any good takes on Cara's phobia for needles?
Oh, come on, Cara. That's
Suck it
my.
up.
Come on, Cara. You are jumping out of planes.
Right.
You are swimming and climbing ropes and running 50 miles. A needle that's going to refresh your body, especially as a health or fitness expert. Suck it up. I get
It's
it.
vitally
A needle
crucial.
phobia. She's obviously very scared of needles. I get it. But we're not talking about having a buzzsaw to the brain. We are talking about a little needle pricking. She's never given blood at the doctor. That's gonna, especially if you want to win, you need to be rehydrated. As Turbo said, I hate it too. I loved everything about Cara this episode, except that the can you cover your arm? It was so extra. Come on,
but
Cara.
maybe that was sort of like a mentality thing too. So you're dehydrated, you're heated, you're.
Yeah, it's been a long day, but at the same time, if I'm Theo and Cara's telling me to cover my arm, like, here you go, take a look. It's in a book. Reading my book. Get the hell out of here.
Here's the thing from a guy that, believe it or not, I hate needles. Like, I really hate it.
Yeah.
Like, I have a lot of tattoos, but I hate needles, and so I sympathize with her. I totally get it, but that is a situation where you have to suck it up. Your body just literally got put through the ringer. You need that IV. Like, you need it.
And she should be smarter than that.
Yeah.
I wish I would have even taken if Polly was here, he'd tell me to do it if she did it. It was ridiculous that she's not going to get the hydration she needs. I want her to win.
Okay, look, great. You have a phobia of needles. That sucks, and I feel bad for you.
Eyes.
But close your eyes and help your body out. Everyone in the live chat's like, oh, people have phobia. Well, guys, you're trying to help her.
And again, you don't go get a physical car and give blood. You do. So it's happened. You've done it before.
It's not like you've never
not
done
for $1 million.
this,
She
So
must
come
be
on.
so scared of needles that she's willing to deprive her body of what it needs, but she's just going to be shooting herself in the foot if it comes down to the final.
Yeah.
But here's her take on it.
Okay.
So she commented on the Challenge MTV Instagram, and she said, "In the meantime, I will be sure to laugh at all of you for being terrified of lame shit like being buried alive or laying in a coffin of snakes, etc. That shit wouldn't make me bat an eyelash. We are all effed up in our own unique ways. I'm a superhero. I don't pass out in finals. 1 banana in 23 miles and 24 hours, and I soldier on." 1 banana? If I have 1 banana, it's like my 3-hour office desk job, I'm like, I need food.
Yes, but those things that she's comparing it to aren't going to revive you. So saying being scared of being in a coffin, it's stupid. I'm scared of snakes.
My
Terrifying.
craziest thing is that she has
If I
1
was going to get
banana
$1 million
in 23 miles.
and rehydrated and nourished, I would touch a snake. I would be terrified. I mean, that heart gripping palpitation fear I have with snakes. So I get it. If I had to stick I don't know if I could do it, but if I had $1 million and it was going to nourish me, I'd do it.
Okay.
So,
well, she's got her
She's
things.
sure.
When Cara freaks out, she freaks out.
Yeah.
Shall we get into some predictions for this tribunal? I'm so excited about this.
Sure.
Predictions.
And now.
And having said that,
your
I'm just mad because I want her to win.
AfterBuzz
So I'm like,
Prediction.
Fair
take
enough.
your medicine, girl.
Okay, so let's get into the tribunal. We see Wes Theo and Turbo are the head of the Tribunal. They come out, and we end on a cliffhanger, obviously. And we also lost like an extra minute or two with our feed. So we have no idea who they're going to pick to go into this Tribunal. So it's they can pick between Cara, Ninja, and Hunter, and it's Theo, Turbo, and Wes picking. Who do you guys think is going in?
Well, I don't even understand how it's going to work. So they just pick one person, they maybe get a time deduct? Like, they can't just disqualify them from the game. You think that? I don't think it's going to go that far. That's BS.
That would be so. I don't know. I agree with Dan. I don't even know. Are they going to pick someone and then that person picks someone and they do a traditional elimination round? Or are they going to pick someone to have a sleep outside in the cold or not eat breakfast in the morning? Something like that, or a penalty.
I mean, and on all honesty, I know Hunter's in last place. I think they're gonna put Hunter in because they don't know what that next day is. Maybe it's something where you have to be super strong or something. They don't want Hunter to do well. So I think they're gonna throw Hunter in the Tribunal, but I don't know what that means.
I think they're gonna do Ninja.
You think they throw Ninja in? Okay.
I do, because Theo was partnered with Cara, so that's an alliance. Wes is an OG with Hunter, and sort of Cara, no relationship with Ninja. And Turbo has an active semi-grudge.
But look at it now, though. It's so late. Like, it's the last little bit. Like Wes cares now. Wes doesn't care at this point.
It's awful, but I feel like nobody has a particular alliance to Ninja. So if anyone's going to get picked, it's her.
Who do you guys think?
That's a good call politically.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking politics, just off of, the surface.
Performance, maybe?
And Cara and Hunter are second to last, both of them, so they're also less of a threat. She's also right behind
she's in fourth, yes.
Yeah.
Just on paper, without even thinking heavily about the politics, I was just thinking Cara because she freaked out over the IV and everybody was kind of like, well...
Oh, that's interesting too, though.
I take that back because that might make them want to keep her around.
Right.
She's a weak, right.
Yeah.
So they probably will do Ninja because Ninja did really well on the first heat and obviously proved her endurance. Like, she almost died and got back up and did it with flying colors with the most energy of a toddler. So they're probably going to try and get her out.
Yep.
Because Hunter, I was thinking they might want to keep around because he has the longest time.
But let's be real here. In every tribunal, they've chosen two people to go against each other. So if they do Hunter versus Ninja?
Yeah,
that'd be insane.
Well, if they pick
probably
Ninja,
like who can stand on one leg on a platform for longer.
It's got to be something that's going to be obviously
so in theory, they got to pick two people.
Well, the way it always breaks down is that the person they pick picks.
But they still fair enough. You're right.
Yeah.
But either way, there's gonna be two. So who's the other person gonna pick? Then it's crazy, right?
My prediction is that it's not gonna be a head-to-head, and so I hope not, because God.
I like the standing on a pole all night. That'd be crazy.
They've done that before.
I think
I know, but that's funny to me. I like that one.
Which is still brutal.
I don't want to do it, but I like to watch it. I like to hear them all get mad.
Yeah.
All I know is I'm really excited for next week. I think that's the last episode, right? And then it's a reunion?
I would think so.
One.
Oh, who do you guys think is going to win this whole thing?
Dang, I don't know.
I mean, the way Theo's performing, I guess I will say, Turbo's my guy. I want to root for Turbo. But just going strictly off of performance right now, I say Theo has the edge.
I mean, how could you not, right? 26 to make it.
I don't want to laugh at all, but the fact that Turbo said he would literally die for this, and then they keep showing him dying first into the sand is just like.
But it's those producers tricking us, so therefore it must mean that Turbo's going to win, right?
Like a 10 miles downhill sled ride. Like, is there some sort of? Hopefully, they're not going to put them through this again.
These people are incredible because I could never do this.
The way when we
see
said
that about like every challenge this season.
Theo's a marathon runner, and he said he's never run that much.
That's true.
No one can do this. It is insane. They're really pushing themselves to the brink.
Oh my God! All right, does anybody have anything before we quickly go to news and gossip?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. News and gossip, hit that.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Shout out to @TheVindictive on Twitter. Thank you so much for tweeting at Pam, Dan, and I don't think you were on it, DPR. Sorry.
Oh, thanks for leaving me out. Thank you.
She tweeted, I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this already, but if you haven't, be sure to check out the Bananas and Wes Mari clip. It's just absolutely ridiculous and hysterical because they do the entire like Mari package where it's like not black and white, but almost a distilled, like discolored, newsy package where it's like
a crime show.
Yes, like Wes walking in the street, Wes Salomo walking in the street, bananas on top of a building. They're like, who's more obsessed with who? Wes is obsessed with me. And then Wes is like, Johnny just is so intimidated that I'm the hottest ginger that has ever lived. And it's like, what is going on Maury.
Well,
Nice
if you ever watched Maury in the '90s, like I did, it's a great parody of exactly what they would do with like real life situations with other people, and they're obviously just making fun, which is really great.
So they
like,
do
are
a
you the
lie-
daddy?
Yes,
Right.
that's what I
Not
was
the
hoping
father.
for.
Right, that's what it is. It's a lie detector test, is all it is. Yeah.
Right.
That's
It's
what
good
I was
times.
hoping for the entire time was a paternal test. I was
Right.
like, so do they have a kid? Are they adopting a kid together? Like, what's the bombshell here? But it was just a lie detector over who's more obsessed with who.
Did you see quickly? Did you see when they showed Wes as a baby in the episode today?
Baby Wes.
Did you see what they said underneath Baby Wes?
No.
They said the baby hates all baby food with bananas in it, and I was like, that's cute. That's funny.
That is cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Johnny and Wes were Amari. Take a look at that. Pam, you had a little bit more on the bear situation.
According to what was it called, like the JJ report, and we're not going to dwell too long on this, but is Bear here? No, Bear is with a 15-year-old that he's well aware of the fact that she's underage. The JJ report said that it's well known in the area that she's not yet 16, and that the Instagram that he since deleted is playing a song about underage girls. So I think the whole he didn't know poor Bear is kind of out the window.
It's almost like he's acknowledging it and boasting about it, do you think, in the Instagram? So he's apparently taking, I don't know, I didn't see the Instagram, but the background song is like, she's 15, she's underage.
Right.
So, like, what? It's very,
Right.
very
Like,
bad timing.
and
Very
if
problematic for someone who's
everyone
underage.
in the neighborhood or wherever knows about her, she must be sort of a local tart. I don't know.
Right.
It's like
her name and her
maybe-
age has been printed in several
Right.
newspapers, apparently. So it should be no surprise that she was underage.
Right.
But with Bear, I did see on Instagram, I think it was a selfie story that he posted as well, is that it looks like he's in the next season
He
because
is.
he's
Of
like,
course he is.
I'm leaving next Tuesday for filming for the show. So I
Okay.
guess no one cares about what just happened.
Right,
it's probably
right.
already done and dusted
Like,
by
all
the
of
time.
a sudden, MTV doesn't care about maybe
Having a pedophile. No, I'm just kidding.
pedophilia.
I mean, it's super illegal,
Right.
and yet he's going to be on season 34.
Maybe not in England. Maybe she's allowed to hang out at the pub and you can pick up.
I don't
And-
know about 15.
Yeah, that's-
And
I don't
quickly, here's
know.
my news and gossip. Speaking of Challenge 34, apparently Bananas is going to be on it. And according to King Skyfall 96 on Instagram, he hit me up DM and said that it's going to be Bananas' final season.
No.
That's what I've been told.
Who else is rumored cast of 34? Do we?
Oh,
know?
they're all. I looked at them all. I mean,
Okay.
they got some
like
good
CT?
ones.
Any CT?
I don't think I saw CT on there. He was like a maybe. They had like a yes, maybe, and a no
I'm gonna have
section.
to check that out.
I believe JP was a no. If any JP lovers out there, I can't say Shailene again. People get mad. I think Shailene's a no as well, but we can't hate on her anymore.
That
so.
joke will never get tired to me. You can say the Shailene line over and over again. I love it because each time I go who and laugh
We
inside.
remember.
So, yeah, I believe that if we are correct, it looks like season 34 they took off for filming yesterday, I think.
Or I heard
Or
today.
today.
Today or
Okay.
yesterday. Yeah.
So a lot of
Okay.
cast members are going out to film now, and then also if you're in the MTV family, looks like X on the Beach season 3 did film, and now that's wrapped now, and the people who are rumored to be on the cast are now popping up on social media and
Yep.
Instagram. So look out for that soon
Might
as
have to
well.
see.
Okay.
There
I think
we
that's-
go.
I think that's it for tonight. Thank you guys for being with us. Insane final. I'm so excited to see who wins, and hopefully everybody finishes going forward and nobody else passes out.
I hope so
Yeah.
too.
Thank you guys so much for being with us. My name is Jenna_Bussy. Actually, my name is Jenna.
Your parents were so progressive. They knew digital media was coming. Jenna underscore middle name.
My middle name is actually
Jenna underscore.
It's derailed, guys. It's derailed.
We are delirious from the heat.
That's so funny.
Yes, it
Oh my
is.
God, who cares? Don't tweet at me. Dan, where are you?
My name is the Dan Lindgren, and you can find me at Daniel Lindgren. Oh, dang it! I jokingly messed it up. Go on.
My name is Pamela Jill Gross, but if you reverse the Gross and Jill, that's where you can find me all over social media. Thank you guys for tuning in. We really do love you and appreciate your feedback.
My name is David Christopher with no underscores in it. You can find me on Twitter at DPR Christopher and Instagram David Punkrock Christopher. Hope you guys had a good time with us. Thank you for joining. See you next time. Good night.
West baby underscore.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.